And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is a Monday night. It is Test Match Week. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the final road ahead of the much eagerly anticipated All Blacks versus Springboks match, which will take place on Saturday, 5 o'clock at the Mbombela Stadium. I'm actually currently sitting in Mpumalanga. We are in Nelspruit, well, we're actually in White River for the week, where we are bringing you guys all the press conferences and all the build up for this weekend, which should be an absolute cracker of a match, and some very interesting decisions for the Springbok management to make ahead of the Springbok team announcement, which will be tomorrow morning. And so we're going to basically, for the next sort of half an hour, talk a little bit about what we can come to expect with some of the selections tomorrow, what are the big sort of calls that the Springbok staff need to make, what we can expect from them, and just genuinely what sort of change we'd like to see from the Springboks when we go into the game this weekend. And I think if we're looking at the Springbok side, we're looking at a side that are very much favourites going into the Rugby Championship, and yet a side still under quite a lot of pressure in terms of the performance that we've seen, in terms of the level that we've seen, and a little bit of inconsistencies at times. And Dion Davis today at the press conference very much talking about the fact that they are very much looking for improvement themselves, and even said to a point that New Zealand are desperate to get back to winning ways and desperate to make a statement, but the Springboks are desperate to keep improving. And I think it's very much the Springbok side are very much a side that are systems based. They said so, and they very much said that it's all for them. It's all about improvement. It's all about them getting better rather than the opposition. So they're not going to sit there and overly worry and overanalyze certain opposition. They're going to try and do the best they can do for themselves. And I think that generally it's the right sort of way to approach, especially going to World Cup next year. We're going to need to be sort of be able to adapt quite a lot to different teams depending on who we'll face at any time. So if you can make sure that your core principles and your core game plan are all on the same sort of level and all on a high level, then obviously it means that you are, in theory, should be a lot better at adapting at whatever opposition that you will sort of come across over the next sort of 18 months. But yeah, so some big selection calls to make with regards to tomorrow's team selection. Obviously, the big one being who's going to see at number 8, who we're going to see at number 14, Ochez and Colby. But apart from that, I think we probably expect to see quite a similar side for me that we saw in the third test against Wales. I think it's a very settled side. I think tomorrow we will see what is considered our best side in the current climate. Whatever that may be, we will wait and see. But the team announcement is tomorrow. We should have a video out about 11:30, I reckon. Tomorrow we'll also have Springbok press conferences out, as well as New Zealand media content. Wednesday is going to be stuff coming out basically every single day from the various camps. We're going to have some training footage out, so make sure you go and subscribe to Forever Rugby, because we'll have some training footage out there of both sides by tomorrow night. You can also follow sort of behind the scenes stuff of what we're doing on my Instagram, for example, doing a bit of behind the scenes videos in terms of what every day sort of looks like, what it's like going behind the scenes. And it's quite sort of surreal, really, when you think a year ago this entire channel basically was me in a room, talking to you guys virtually. And now, it's become a very sort of regular occurrence. You're out of the team hotel, you walk through, the team's busy having lunch, you walk through, set up at the press conference, stuff like that. So it's very cool to see that Forever Sports is on the road. As I said, we are literally broadcasting a little bit B&B in White River. My mobile studio going at the moment, so that's why there's a bit of a different. If it does look any different or sound any different, that is why, because we are literally on the road. And it's very exciting actually. I think that this week Saturday, I urge you to try and catch the build-up, not just the watch-along, but the actual build-up, because we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff this weekend. This week, we're going to be filming at the Mbombela Stadium. I'm going to be hopefully filming inside Kruger National Park, for example. We're going to be filming at certain locations within Nelspruit, and hopefully we should be able to do some really cool sort of stuff in the build-up to what the watch-along will be on Saturday. So we probably will be going live at about sort of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and we're going to have quite an in-depth and for me a very exciting sort of package of various things which will all provide a nice little backdrop ahead of the match, which will kick off at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And then next weekend we will be playing against the All Blacks once again. We will be at Ellis Park. So, for example, obviously the press conference stuff like that will continue next week. So we'll be in Johannesburg following the teams. And after that, we're going to have about a 2-week break. I mean, it's 1 weekend break, but a 2-week break before the Springboks then go to Australia. And they face Australia in back-to-back tests. There's another break. And then we go to Argentina. And then we finish the Rugby Championship back down in South Africa on the 24th September, I think, is the final game, which is down in Durban. Please do smash like on the video, as a couple of people last night on the stream would have seen. We have hit the 15,000 subscriber mark, which is very exciting. So now the next big sort of number is 20,000. I'd like to try and hit that before the end of the year. So yeah, let's hope that we can really kick on and carry the momentum that we've got, because we are doing some very exciting things on the ground here to try and make your guys' experience of the channel as good as possible. We had a fantastic July, really enjoyable July as well, and I really want to try and carry that momentum into August to make sure we have an even better August. But in terms of the comments, let's see who is sitting in the comments. I am Steven, Gareth Ferguson here. Grant Swart says Stevie P on location. Yeah, literally. I mean, the All Blacks are actually staying 1.2 kilometers down the road from me. So I could literally right now I'm not, because I'll probably have my accreditation turned off, but I could literally jump in my car and go and drive and break down the gates and go and like smack an All Black. It's feasible. I wouldn't even actually have to drive. I could actually walk down there. They are so close. So we'll be there tomorrow on location, doing some cool media stuff there. And then obviously the Springboks are actually based in Nelspruit, so we'll be going through tomorrow there as well. Daniel says it's going to be KRIEL, but I'd love to see ARENDSE. I think KRIEL would have been a great fullback. I remember his Bullsdale days. Not sure everyday culture says it'll be KRIEL, but it should be ARENDSE. Brett saying SA have a ton of fullbacks who end up playing out of position in the Bok team. It would have been interesting to see how the careers went if done differently. TP in the home zone, wishing you and your channel all the success, Sinead. About KRIEL and ARENDSE, we need to lead our youngsters, especially for the World Cup. Thank you very much for the sentiment there. I think Warwick should get another chances, not everyday cultist. Gary says, I think Galant on the wing is a good shout. How's it, Trent? Hope you're well, chap. Gerson's going KRIEL. Matthew Dixon's going France. Stay at fullback. Brett saying Galant should stay at home. If he stops goose stepping and passes to the assistant ref, he can come back. Becoming one match, really. Garen says, definitely KRIEL because of experience for All Blacks. ARENDSE definitely start for the future. Congrats on 15K. Thank you very much. David says, I got tickets for Ellis Park. Very, very jealous of that and hope you enjoy that. If you watch URC, that's what he does. It takes time to get with the team, says Elton Sharpshooter. Adam says, how's it watching live from New York City? No way someone with one cap should start versus Jordan, Reese, Caleb, KRIEL or Day, says Dawu. Brett saying, same thing can be said for Casio Fasting. Grant saying, take a car if you're going to smack an All Black. I doubt you're going to outrun them. The lack of faith. I reckon only the Barretts and like Will Jordan are reeling me in. I reckon I'm taking every Reese in a foot race every single day. The difference is that when you're running for your life, a whole new gear is going to come out of me, and you're going to see me breaking land speed records. In fact, I might film it and then send it to Rassie Erasmus as my pick me card for maybe I should be starting on the wing. If you see how quick I were to run, if I were to smack somebody like Rico Awani and just bullet it. Matthew says, I'd love to see Steve try to run away from Caleb Clark. You know what? I don't think I'll run away. Just one time, bang, and just see what happens. Let's be honest. If I would have lost 2 punches, I reckon that's a decent result, actually. But let's not do that. Let's not. Shane, let's not piss them off. You don't want to give them excuses for them to lose this weekend. You don't want them to lose on Saturday and then be like, well, if that absolute athlete hadn't walked into our hotel and started boxing us, we would have won. But unfortunately, we were wrecked by Steve. So we don't want to give them excuses. As a result, I won't go and interfere. But yeah, but we'll talk about the team selection a bit. Just going through a couple of the comments. Important question: which team has the better accommodation? Well, I actually haven't been to the place that New Zealand are staying at. So I'll let you know tomorrow. I think it's gonna be quite cool. I think it's quite a nice facility that they're at. The Springboks are, as at the hotel today, it's kind of exactly what you expect, but they're staying more sort of in Nelspruit itself. They're practicing on the Mbombela Stadium B fields throughout the week. Well, I think tomorrow they might actually have a stadium practice before the captains run on Saturday. But yeah, the Boks are actually training at the Mbombela Stadium facilities, whereas the All Blacks have got a facility with a field on the premises, so they don't actually have to leave to go and practice and stuff like that. Welcome, Brashik. Welcome to the stream. We need Stevie to bounce Artie for the publicity. Eesh. Yeah, I suppose I could sit down Artie Sevilla for the buggers, only for you guys. Cross Tina to become the new Suzy. Okay, careful. Tina says if you do start ARENDSE, if he's doing badly, we can bring Billy on. If you're looking to be more secure, Jesse KRIEL, the man, Billy could also be the start at 14, not 15. Yeah, so in terms of selection tomorrow, as I said, the big sort of selections that we are expecting to see in terms of what we're not quite sure is we're not quite sure who's going to, for example, start at 9. Whether Jaden Henderson will continue to be back, where Faf de Klerk will come back in. I personally would go with Faf de Klerk myself. I think I was very impressed with Jaden Henderson. I would definitely have him on the bench for this weekend. But I do think in a game of this sort of magnitude, bringing back Faf de Klerk's experience is probably the right call. I think that apart from that, the big sort of cause at 8th man, I don't think we're going to see Dwayne Vermeulen this weekend. I think it has come a week too soon. So I do expect to see Jasper Wiese named in the side tomorrow. And as a result, Kwaka Smith will be on the bench. I'm sure we'll go with the 6-2 split, for example. But the big sort of question is there's no Ches and Colby, so we know there will be a new number 14. The question is who will it be? And your options really are only two options. You could be putting Billy at 14. You could put Galant at 14. But you're not going to really, I don't think. So you're basically looking at a Kirkley Arendse or you're looking at a Jesse KRIEL. Jesse KRIEL did the job last year in the end of year tour. Kirkley Arendse did the job in the second test. Kirkley Arendse probably more a natural sort of wing selection in the 14 and brings a lot more pace than Jesse KRIEL, but is obviously a lot smaller and is not defensively as sound. And that's no insult to Kirkley Arendse's ability, but more praise to Jesse KRIEL because we just do know that Jesse KRIEL is very solid defensively. So the safe option would be to potentially go Jesse KRIEL at 14. It doesn't necessarily bring the most flair, for example, but I also think that we sometimes sell Jesse KRIEL a little bit short because he hasn't played as much rugby as we remember. I mean, this guy's got 50 tests, eh? So to sit there saying that his best days are behind him after he's played maybe 4 or 5 tests in the last 2-3 years, basically. So yeah, I personally think that Jesse KRIEL is very much a viable option at 14. I do have a sneaky suspicion we will see Arendse though. And then there are some rumors going around about the hookers. I have a feeling about it, and I think it will be true, but we'll see it in the morning. But going back to some of the comments, Douglas says, when Corsi was unavailable in November, KRIEL slotted in nicely. Don't see bar coaches taking a gamble. Ultimate Sharpshooter says, do you think they will put Dion on the bench? I heard rumors earlier this year that Jarkney was thinking of Kwaka Dion coming on. Damien Francis, who I like to see, says, not your everyday cultist. Matthew says, a great pickup line. I knocked out an All Black. Yeah, well, there we go. I suppose, got to do for the content. Make sure my GoPro is charged. It's actually sitting right there and ready to go. What's to say here about Mark starting? He has such an impact off the bench. Luis says low starts. I don't think Low will be in the 23, to be honest. Isn't Mark's 50th? That may be why they're starting him. Can we have your score prediction and why, please? I won't get my score prediction yet. I'll probably get my score prediction on Thursday. If we manage to get a fan forum together, then I'll do my score prediction then because, yeah, I just think that at the moment it's too. We need to see the teams. I got to get information. I got to get facts. I got to get statistics. I got to get data before I can make such a big before I make such a big and bold prediction. So yeah, I won't give a prediction just yet. MT says, would love to be seeing Cromwell off the bench. Please stop with the small play stuff as the likes of Colby and Apple are not shut up enough people. Curtis' defense was very good against Wales, did not miss one tackle. Look, Jasmine Colby has definitely paved the way for smaller players. And there's nothing to say that. And again, did I say that Curtis Arendse was not good enough? I said KRIEL's a better defender than him. Is KRIEL a better defender than him? Yes, he is. Does that mean that Curtis Arendse can't do the job? No, it doesn't. But the safe option from a defensive point of view is Jesse KRIEL. And it's not just because he's bigger than him, it's because he is a better defender than him. It's just a fact. Kurt Lawrence did very well defensively. But are you going to say, for example, that he is a better defender than France Steyn? No, he's not. And it's nothing to do with size, it's just a fact at the end of the day. Contender said Inyakani was slightly shaky at loosehead versus Wales. Inyakani at his better for the bench at loosehead. Spicy Plum should be given a start. Inyakani with Koch and Marks and his British Irish Lions bomb squad in lead. I think we'll see Trevor starting. I do think we'll see him at loosehead again as well. Not everyday Carlos says the bomb squad must stay the same. Grant spots go score prediction. Stephen 1, Artie Sevilla 0. Yeah, look. I imagine also it would be pretty poor form of me to dish out. I mean, imagine I dished out an L to the All Blacks, and then the Box dished out an L to the All Blacks, and then another L. Imagine that took 3 L's and it started with me. No shame, guys. We can't let them. We've got to be hospitable. We've got to let them come to the country, enjoy things, and let the Box ruin it. Not me. I don't want to get a head start on there. A lot of people pay good money to watch the Box get the first go. So I'll leave it to them. Matthew says he's expecting a tight game. I think we have to look out at new players like Trevor Sheck, amazing centre. I'm interested to see if he's actually the 23. In terms of the Springbok 50, I don't think we'll see too many changes. I really don't. As I said, the question marks are potentially around the hookers in terms of who will start, who will be on the bench. It will be Bongi Mnambi and it will be Malcolm Marx. I do think the scrum master will be Jane Henderson and Faf de Klerk. Whether we'll see Jane Henderson continue to start, I'm not convinced. I do think we'll probably see Faf de Klerk rather coming into the starting lineup and Jane Henderson dropping down to the bench. So the only new face I expect to see in the 23, maybe 2 new faces. I expect to see a new 14, and then it'll be very interesting to see if we go with Kwacha, Ulrich Lowe, Franco Mostert. The other option, so for example, when you've got the likes of Kwacha Smith and Franco Mostert, so they cover a lot of positions, obviously. Kwacha Smith can play anywhere in the back 3. Franco Mostert can play a lock and he can play on the flank. So they're very utility forwards-wise. And that gives them a lot of value, especially to a Springbok setup. So, I think you could so Franco Mostert gives you that flexibility in terms of playing a lock on the bench as well as Franco Mostert, like we did in the World Cup. We had Archias Name and Franco Mostert off the bench. So you can go for bomb squad. You can go lock Franco Mostert, Kwacha Smith, or you can go Franco Mostert as the lock replacement and then go 2 loose forwards. So that's what I'm saying. You can either go Franco Mostert as your lock replacement and go in 2 loose forwards and Kwacha Smith to somebody else, or you can go another lock on the bench and then you can go loose forward in Kwacha Smith and a utility forward in Franco Mostert who can cover multiple range of positions. So, for example, that a bomb squad could still work with a Salman Rutt, with a Marvin Ori, with a Ruan Lokia, as much as it would work with a Ulrich Lowe, with a Evan Ruiz, with a Reinhard Alstad, Dion Free type sort of situation. So that's the one big thing that Franco Mostert gives Springboks is options, because he's such a versatile player. He does give the Springboks options to either go with a lock on the bench as well as a loose forward. I mean, it's basically who joins Franco Mostert and Kwacha Smith, isn't it? Because we know that both of them are going to be on the bench tomorrow, and rightfully so. So it all becomes more the question of who is going to join them on the bench, and we will have to wait and see what tomorrow we go with tomorrow, whether we go the lock or whether we go another loose forward. Motivated Carl says Steve needs to blow the finishing blow after 2 tests. Oh, well, there we go. So maybe once they're finished on next week Saturday, we'll find out where they're in the pub, and then we'll get the fist flaring. Gary says I would love to see Owen France crashing down the right wing. France on the wing. Steve and I watched this YouTube of the Commonwealth 7 semi. Sevens to me is like the NFL. If it was All Blacks against backs, you beat one man and you're off to the races. Yeah, no, very much so. Carl says, I would think that Billy would be on the wing. I don't think we'll see Billy on the wing. Owen says, I beg to differ. KRIEL is not a wing. Finish Clark. Coaching staff trying to find a place for him since the centres already occupied. Kurt needs a chance. I mean, as I said, Jesse KRIEL's played on the wing 3 times last year at the end of the year. So of the 12 tests we played, he played 25% of them on the wing. So he definitely is an option on the wing, even if he's not a wing. Janae says, if all Blacks lose the World Championship, this will be the worst year of rugby, but what people are failing to see is the level of rugby across all the countries has improved drastically. Tennis says, I have a feeling that Caleb Clark would start against us. Clark versus ARENDSE will be a battle and a half. Carl saying, and really not an option for the wing. I just don't get the feeling that I don't think Billy will be on the wing. I think Billy will be in the 23 tomorrow. I actually don't think we will. I don't think we're going to see France stay in the line next to tomorrow. I don't think we'll see him in 23. Because I think Daniel Williams is nailed on that 15, so I don't think he's going to move. And I think you have to have Billy Leroux in that 23. So I don't think there's actually space for France staying, to be perfectly honest. Which is quite strange because a year ago, in that All Blacks test, we sort of suddenly saw the value of France staying. And everybody was like, no, you know what, if this guy can get to the World Cup, then we're definitely going to take him because he's playing so well. A year later, for example, Damien Willemse is not made him obsolete, but he's finally taken that step up and become the France staying within the team in terms of the utility back that we can actually rely on. So it's been a long time coming for Damien Willemse, and so glad that he has taken that step. But as a result, I do think that we're going to see less and less of France staying moving forward. MT says, whatever happened to Mbose Pierre? I remember him starting the game in Scotland, then just disappeared. Well, he's back. He's playing for the Bulls. I thought he was playing pretty well this season. I had quite a lot of mixed opinion about him from different fans. I was quite impressed with what I saw from him. But yeah, so we'll wait and see how he goes in the URC. But I think that he's someone who could definitely. Problem is, there's just so many scrum halves at the moment, but I do think that he is a bit of a complete package when he's playing well. He's got the distribution, he's got the game management, he's got a really, really useful boot. I mean, his tactical kicking, especially his box kicking, was very valuable to the Bulls. I mean, at one stage, the Bulls, every single restart, it was take the restart, run one phase, and Embrace Appeal, put them back on the halfway line. And that was like a given thing. It wasn't like it happened once or twice. It was just, that was it. That was how the Bulls would restart. They would kick out, Embrace Appeal would run a phase, and then bang, halfway line. So teams would immediately, from the restart, find themselves back on their halfway line. You know, they would never find that sort of territory gain and be able to put teams under pressure immediately because Rose Pierce's boot was that reliable. So I do think he very much fits a block scrum half game plan. But we probably just need to have another sort of very, well, maybe not another, because I think he was a bit up and down this last season, but it needs another season where he can really prove his best. But I certainly think that we could see him in a Springbok jersey once again. Contender says, I want to give Franco a start this week. 5-3 split would be the best option. I would try Wilson low for the bench and Smith at 8. Have Stain off the bench. Big boost could give us 50-22 momentum. I don't think we're going to see Russ or low this weekend. Williams also has a big boost. It's not Jebede Carter's. Russ to start with Kwak as reserve. No, I don't think we'll see Russ start at all. It's going to be us for Visa, chaps. I think rugby players are a different brand. Who can do more than people give them credit for? For example, Patrick Tupelotu breaking his back, coming back, could play Saturday. Team named yet? No, so team will be named tomorrow. Not Jebede Carter saying Papier wasn't great in the URC final. Why do you see Billy still in the team? Is he even going to make it to the World Cup? I don't see why not. He's not that old. I mean, if Dwayne Vermeulen's in the running at 37, Billy Leroux at 32, he turns 33 this month, so he'll be 34 at the World Cup. So I think he'll definitely make it to the World Cup. And I think that we saw his value that he brings in that first test, for example. I really felt that Billy Leroux changed the game when he came on. Carlson, how do you see this match playing out? You didn't try to push the pace, and we were trying to do our own things, lots of kicks and build the innings. I don't know if we will see New Zealand try and push the pace. I mean, it's not Typhoid altitude, but we are still about half a K above sea level up here. Interesting, the weather, for example. Today the weather was absolutely appalling. When I was driving up, it was foggy, it was rainy. It's still wet now. So I'm not sure what the weather's look. I think it's going to clear up for the weekend, so I think it is looking pretty good. I think it is supposed to be quite warm on Saturday. I'm seeing here that the record Friday is going to be 30 degrees, so it is going to be quite a warm evening on Saturday evening. It looks pretty dry as well, so apparently it's going to clear up after today, which is good because I want to go to the Kruger and I want to have some nice weather for that. But yeah, so I'll be interested to see how the All Blacks cope with the heat and with a little bit of altitude. As I said, not quite high fall. They're going to go to to Joburg next week, and that really is proper altitude, but it still will pay factors. There's no doubt about that. So I'll be interested. You might not necessarily then you see New Zealand trying to up the pace that much because we don't know how they're going to last throughout the game. But the Springboks generally do like to build innings. They are a team that generally do like to sort of settle into their paces, build through set pieces, and sort of grow into the game rather than. Boks unfortunately don't tend to start very well. We very rarely see a Springbok team scoring 2 or 3 tries early on. But they are a team where if they go behind, for example, we just tend not to panic because we know we've been there before. We know how to come back from games. We know how to just sort of shorten gaps and get yourself back into the running. Francois Spears also one, if not the quickest scrum master in the country. Any news concerning Cheslin? I haven't had any update from him about him. We know that he broke his jaw, so I don't think we're going to see him in the Rugby Championship. Hopefully the end of year tour. Haven't seen enough of him really, have we, since the World Cup? And now people, the usual thing, he hasn't played that much rugby. So now everybody's sort of sitting there saying, well, he's actually overrated, he's actually not that good, etc., etc. People have got very short memories. You go back to before the Lions series, like last year, Cheslin Kolbe was playing unbelievable rugby in Europe. Came to the Lions series, scored another fantastic try. Everything he touched was turning to goal. And he's had an injury-fraught months since then, and now apparently he's overrated and useless according to a lot of people. So it's just very weird. So Contender coming in with his team selections. He's going, if he was faster, he's going 9, Smith, Mwanga 10, Tupoya 12, Ironia 13, Reece Clark 11, Reece Jordan 14, 15 Havili Jordan. I definitely think we'll see the Barretts tomorrow or on Thursday when they announce the starting lineup. I'll be very surprised if we don't see the Barretts. Quite says, don't you think it's time we spice up our coach staff? We are the same team since 2019. No, not true. We brought in Don Human, I suppose, in place of Matt Proudfoot. And you've got a new strength and conditioning coach, an Irish chap. What's his name? Gone blank on our new conditioning coach. Brett says it's called Reece bias. People remember Reece performances based opinions on that 100%. Cheslin's been very unlucky in terms of international level lately. Talks about Cheslin coming back to the Stormers. Yeah, we've been basically waiting for confirmation of that. I think it's pretty well documented that it's very likely that it will happen. So we're just kind of waiting for that final confirmation. Bang, he is coming. Bang, confirmed. Will Willem Alberts ever be selected again? He was the best number 7 and then he just disappeared. Not for the Box anyway. I don't even know if we're going to see him much for the Lions in the next season. He's just so injury prone at the moment. The Bone Crusher. He had some terrific years there, didn't he? Bit of a cult hero already in a box shirt. Just in terms of some of the tackles he made, some of the impacts he made. We won't see him again in the box shirts either. His international career is very much done, I think. But was a fantastic servant to Springbok where he did play. Felix Jones. So Felix Jones is technically, I suppose, kind of our attack coach. But he came back in 2019. It's the Saracens guy. What's his name? He joined last year. Edwards. Andy Edwards. That's our head of athletic performance or whatever the official title is. He's coming to the Box and he's working with them at the moment. That's who I was trying to remember. Yeah, so he's new from 2019. He was appointed last year. Thanks so much, Kwasi, for the donation. Really appreciate it. Jabba says, Dark JC Victorious, what a machine. How old is Willem Alberts now? I'd imagine he's in his mid-30s. I'd hazard a guess at 36. Sounds about right. 38. He's 38. Well, there we go. As I said, I don't know how much longer we're going to see. I'm surprised we haven't seen him retire, to be honest. The amount of injuries he's had the Lions, not quite sure why he's still going. But credit to him. If you want to play, you want to play. So you crack on. We're not going to have a very late show, only a long show, to be honest, because unfortunately I've got quite a lot of stuff still to do for tomorrow. Let's see what we've got a lot of press conferences to cover. I need to get cameras charging, like the camera I'm using now needs to get into charging. I need to dump footage onto my laptop, into hard drive, stuff like that. We're busy up here, people. We're busy. And when we say we, it's me. We're one-manning it this week, so we're operating cameras, asking questions, being in front of the camera. It's been a busy day. It'll be a very busy week, but hopefully it'll all be worth it. Hopefully going to create some very cool content throughout the week. Welcome, Brett, to the ladies members of Air Sports Members Club. Very appreciate that. Welcome. If you want to become a member, you see the pinned chat at the top there. It's got the link, and you can join the members club. How was Vitalik? Is he going to play? No, Vitalik didn't even travel, so he will not be involved this weekend nor next weekend. Dan says, totally off subject. Is it just me when I really misland me? He wasn't the same after the collision with CJ Stander. Yeah, I think another example of just how important taking concussion is seriously is. And again, for me, an example of why this 20-minute red card, for example, is such a slap in the face towards a big attitude towards trying to take a stand against head injuries. But yeah, I've really had too much of a rant about that before. Larry says, do you think the Bok could possibly beat the All Blacks twice? What do we need to do differently to achieve this? I don't think we need to do too many things differently, to be honest. I think we just need to be probably better defensively. I think we need to make sure our systems are in place. And then after that, it's just about execution. It's about making sure our attacking set piece works well. It's making sure that we stick to the basics and we get the job done. Early prediction, I think the Boks are going to win by 5. If I had to make an early prediction, I'll make an official prediction probably on Thursday. But if I had to go with an early prediction, I'm feeling a 5-point win. But you know what? Everyday Clubs is going to be 1-1. Artie's a great captain, says Matthew. He's going Xavier or Whitelock as captain. Brett says, All Blacks fans on social media going crazy about the head contact rules. They hate them. Well, you know what I think is more important than hating head contact rules? Not seeing people diagnosed with dementia at 41 years old. People, unfortunately, as I said, cameras are dying and things are dying, and I've got a lot to do, so we are going to wrap it up there. Just a bit of a quick show, jump on here, give a bit of an update, see what everybody's thinking. We will be live tomorrow, probably tomorrow night. We won't be able to do the usual 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock immediate reaction show because I will be at the team hotel for the press conference, unfortunately, but we will still do a live stream tomorrow at some point, probably in the evening. So just keep an eye on the channel, and obviously we'll have a video out as soon as the team is announced. We'll have a video out with that, and then we will have the press conferences from both the All Blacks camp as well as the Springbok camp throughout the day tomorrow. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.